Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest placed second in only her second Olympia behind the great Shanique Grant. In the women's physique division, we got her here today. She's one of the unsung heroes of the Olympia weekend, Sarah Villegas. Welcome.
Hi, Dave. Thank you.
Sarah Villegas, right? That's how it's pronounced?
That's right.
Yeah.
Villegas, you got it.
Yes. What nationality are you?
Hispanic.
From Mexico, or from where?
Yeah, so my dad's family is from Mexico, and then my mom is just from New York, so upstate.
Cool. New York, can't go wrong. Once you go to New York, you're a New Yorker. It doesn't matter if you came from Timbuktu, you're a New Yorker, right?
Right, I guess so.
Now, you have an interesting story because in 2012, when they started that women's physique division, you really hadn't done anything. You just started training, and you said, "I'm going to win the Olympia." Is that really true?
Yeah. So right after I got out of college, so actually I was going to school. I thought I wanted to go to dental school. So I was taking all of these prerequisites for, all these sciences, natural sciences, biologies, anatomy, all that kind of stuff. And that's actually kind of what really spiked my interest into kind of working out and the human body and all that stuff. Anyway, I didn't go to dental school. Graduated with a journalism degree, and then I just started kind of working out. And yeah, I knew that I had barely probably picked up a weight by the time that the women's physique category was started, but I instantly knew that's what I want to do. That's where I belong. So yeah.
Who did you tell this little secret to anyone? Did you say, "Hey, I want to win the Olympia one day"? Did you ever say that to someone at that time?
Well, actually, it was told to me. So he's now my husband, but Ali, he's actually the one who introduced me into bodybuilding,
right?
Or I guess weightlifting and all of that. And we had been working out for I don't know, maybe 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And he kind of just looked over to me and he said, you can win the Olympia one day. And I kind of was like, oh yeah, thanks. I didn't really even know what it meant at that time. The magnitude of what the Olympia is, I had heard of it, but I had no idea, what, like I said, the magnitude of what that meant and the title, all of that.
Right.
And so I just kind of said, okay, yeah. And I mean, since then we had been training for it. And then obviously as I got closer and, won my state show and won my pro card and stuff, it kind of became okay, wow, wait, this is actually really happening. So yeah, it's been.
So it's hubby who really had the vision, and he kind of helped you realize that vision.
Yeah, I guess so. He's been doing this for, oh my gosh, I think he had been doing it for 10 years when I met him.
Right.
So yeah, he definitely had, I guess, he saw it in me, saw the potential, and definitely brought it out. So.
Now, what show did you turn pro at?
Team Universe in 2017.
Okay, now when you got that pro card, okay, that'd be a shock to you because that had to be you know what, I'm going to the big time now. I mean, that's a reality check for a lot of people that, hey, you know what, I've just been validated by these national judges that I am good enough to be a pro bodybuilder, pro physique, whatever you want to call it, a pro athlete in the physique division.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, I kind of had that feeling a little bit when I did my first, my local show. I was like, wow, oh my gosh, obviously you go in to win, but when you get that trophy, you're kind of okay, yes, I got it. And then it was the same thing. I felt, I knew it was going to be a lot more competition going into the national show. You've got everybody in the country, right, fighting for, these pro cards that they're giving out. So yeah, I definitely felt okay, I'm there when I got it. And yeah, so it was definitely a really good feeling to get it on the first try as well,
Yeah, no, you haven't lost a show aside from the Olympia, right?
My Olympia last year, 10th place. Yeah. So other than that, I've had a perfect record. So
yeah. And obviously this year, second place is not too shabby either. But other than that, every other show you've done, which is kind of unheard of, on the amateur level you never lost, and then on the pro level you won your two pro shows. So it's pretty impressive. Now let's take a step back for a second. What do your parents, your New York mother and your Mexican father, what do they think about the whole bodybuilding thing? Are they into it, or do they understand it?
It's their, I think it's kind of like most people, they kind of at first are like, oh, what is all this? And they see your show pictures and you're really tanned and, you look kind of different.
Yeah.
But, they think it's really cool. So.
Now you have some I think you might have the best legs in the women's physique division there. What is that a body part that came very easy to you? Or are you like one of these maniac trainers, squatting heavy and stuff like that? Was it hard work or was it genetics?
Definitely, I would say hard work. I would say that they responded very well, but I trained the lights out. I think that that's one thing, and you hear it all the time. Oh, you got to build from the bottom up, and legs are the most important muscle and things like that. But not a lot of people actually really listen to that and follow through with that. They say, oh yeah, I know, and they think that means doing one extra set on the leg press or whatever it is. But I have been relentless with leg training. Giving it twice as much time throughout my week, twice as much time on the, when I'm actually on the gym floor. So it's definitely been a lot of work. It does help though that I like training legs. I think, I'm one of those weirdos that thinks it's kind of fun and rewarding, but it's definitely been a lot of hard work.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the Olympia level is ridiculous. I mean, you got girls like, Natalia Coelho, who's been dominating that division. Obviously, Shanique Grant, who's Miss Olympia, who might have one of the best structures of all time. You had Pren guy who just had beaten Natalia at the Phoenix show the week prior. So you had a lot of competition going, and this was not an easy women's physique. Unfortunately, they don't really showcase the women at the Olympia weekend as much as I think that they should. You guys should be up on the main stage, and they should give you a little more hype and hoopla, but that's an iron debate topic we can talk about another time. Was it intimidating going into this Olympia, especially knowing last year you were 10th?
Actually, I'll say this year I was just on fire and ready to take it. I'll admit that last year going into the Olympia, I think part of it was because I had turned pro. Then the very next year I enter my pro show, win the whole thing. And then 10 weeks later, I'm in my Olympia. Last year it was a little more nerve wracking and overwhelming. But this year I came in and I was ready for it. That's one thing that's a little bit different about me is that no matter what show it is, obviously the Olympia has a lot more publicity and it's more well known who's competing obviously before you enter.
Right.
But I don't necessarily train to beat anyone. I'm not training to beat Shanique or beat Natalia or anybody else. I'm training to win. So I really just kind of look at myself, bring my best package, and then I know that when I look in the mirror, okay, I've got it. So this year that wasn't really a factor into it. My placing of last year coming in 10th and then trying to move up in the ranks. I was just coming to win.
Yeah, well, I mean, in order to win, you have to beat those other girls. So it is a factor because look at the men's Open Olympia. No one showed up in shape. A lot of the top guys didn't show up. The Mr. Olympia couldn't do the show. So sometimes, Brandon Curry was at the right place at the right time. So sometimes it's a little luck. Now, you came into this show, I don't think anyone had you on their radar. And you beat a lot of good girls, including Natalia. And, I don't know how close it was on the judges' minds with you and Shanique, but you're certainly bigger than Shanique, and your conditioning is as good, maybe better. So that had to make you feel good at least. But when you realize that, hey, I cooked second to Shanique, now the question is, how do you beat this girl? Because she's Miss Olympia. She's got the structure, from, God. And, you have better tools in the sense that you're bigger and you're harder, but what do you do to improve now? What do the judges suggest?
So I haven't necessarily gotten any direct hey, well, I'll take that back. Honestly, I think I keep doing what I'm doing. Like you said, she has a great structure. She has a very great physique. And that, helps her in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I do have a lot more muscularity. I do bring, I think, tighter conditioning. And so there are, a lot of poses where I beat her and a lot of poses where I push her very hard. Mm-hmm. So my strategy, I guess, is just to keep doing what I'm doing. You can never have, enough V-taper. You can never have enough lower body, more quads, more glutes, more hamstrings. So just keep doing what I'm doing. Look, this is only, I guess, maybe my 5th show ever. So I've got, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I've got a lot of ways and room to improve. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing, and just go back at it next year and take first.
Yeah, well, that's the attitude for sure. Now I noticed that this women's physique division for the first time in a long time it's all young girls. It's all young women. Shanique is what, 22 or something like that, or some ridiculously, 24 I think she is. You're 28. Natalia is very young as well. It's great to see young talent as opposed to, you go to women's bodybuilding, the women are over 50, So I like the fact that you guys are going to be around battling it out probably for the next 10 years at least. And it at this point in my thinking process, it's like hard to conceptualize what's next. Now, would you ever consider, now that they're bringing back Miss Olympia and they seem like they're putting a lot of prize money into it, would you ever move to women's bodybuilding? Is that something that you want to do, or do you like the physique class?
I love the women's physique class. Look, like we mentioned earlier, the women's physique class is what got me to start training for, we'll say, the sport of bodybuilding, for competitive, fitness. I respect the hell out of those women. I know that they work tirelessly. But what I love about the women's physique category is that you're able to be really muscular and you're able to, show strong definition, but yet there's still, a heavy presence of femininity and delicacy, and just that pretty fun look. And so, yeah, that's not something that I'm interested in, but, like I said, this is the reason why I even got into the sport.
Right.
So I don't think I'll ever leave.
Now that you're second at the Olympia, where do you go from here? Like, what do you want to do differently over this course of this next year to maybe market yourself better, to get more people to know who you are? Obviously, coming on this show is going to help. Everyone's going to know who you are. But what will you do? Because I know you're kind of quiet, reserved. You're kind of like the Dorian Yates. You do your thing in the gym. You show up at the show, show off what you got. But, in today's social media world, you kind of have to almost have a presence. What have you been working towards in terms of getting more people to know who you are?
Well, I definitely have. Yes. So I started my Instagram account like maybe 2 years ago. It was right before the Chicago Pro, and I had like 2 posts or something like that. But yeah, I've definitely been trying to post more and engage more. It's actually interesting. I didn't realize that I would have as many fans as I had at the athlete meet and greet at the Olympia, both last year and this year.
Right.
And so people are like, "Oh, I saw you on Instagram and this and that," and I had no idea that I had that many fans. I thought, "Oh, I'm just I don't really pay attention to it that much. Not out of anything negative, just busy and not really having enough time to dedicate to it. So I'm definitely trying to engage more with people. My Instagram is I am Sarah Fit, and my Facebook is just my name, Sarah Villegas, IFBB Pro. And so that's definitely something that I'm making an effort to do, to try to, like I said, put more content out, because you see that the fans really like that and they feed off of that. And so I think that it's really good to give them what they want. So.
And how's that helping business? I know you run the training over at AFS Premier Fitness, which is the gym you guys own. Has that helped business since you've placed second at the Olympia?
Yeah, we've definitely gotten, I wouldn't say like a whirlwind of, new inquiries or anything like that, but, and also our line of business is a little bit different. We are more of like an executive clinic.
Gotcha.
And we do kind of everything from personal training to, diet, nutrition. We've got DEXA scan, InBody, measurement tracking, things like that. So it really is, a whole program where people come in and kind of just, reach their ultimate body composition and just really change their life. But that is, yeah, it definitely has, helped put us out there. So that's been really cool to see. You see a lot more international, I guess, responses from people. So that's been something that's been new and different for us. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, have the schmoey body fans found you yet? Have you been getting like the creepy PMs on Instagram yet from like the guys that like kind of worship the muscle and stuff like that?
Well, actually, I think they're always going to be there, but I think I do a pretty good job of presenting myself in a way that tells them this not here. So
yeah, right, but they don't care anyway. They're gonna still reach out. You're still gonna get the crazy emails. I know it. There's no way around it. with striated glutes on a woman's bodybuilder, on a women's physique, women's bodybuilder, these guys go crazy for that stuff. So I'm sure you get a lot of inquiries out there. But you look like you handle yourself pretty well.
Thank you.
Well, here's your chance. You can thank whoever you want. We're at the end of the interview, and just, I guess, give the fans or anyone who out there you would like to give a thank you to.
Well, I'd like to thank you, I guess, for having me. It's been, I know that you cover a lot of people and stuff, so it's been nice to sit down and talk with you a little bit.
Sure.
And I'm thankful for the way that the women's physique category has grown into what it is. It started just only a few short years ago when I, started, and I was just a fan, and now I'm here, in the top lineup, and I've got a huge platform. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm thankful, obviously, I always say it, but to my husband who, has gotten me here to the place where I'm at. I'm excited for what's next to keep coming. And like I said, I'm excited for next year when I get that first place. So.
Are you going right back to the Olympia, or are you going to try to do maybe the Arnold Classic first?
I haven't decided yet. We've talked about it a little bit, but I haven't made any definitive decision of if I'm just going to do the Olympia or if I'm going to do the Arnold or another show. So it's all up in the air, but I'm for sure, Olympia next year. So, right. But we'll see.
Well, good luck in 2020, and I'm sure we'll talk to you before the Olympia. And congratulations on that big second place.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, and that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.